Now, my next guest is 17 years working with children as an entertainer. She set out on her own in 2009, forming Little Laughs. It's a great name, isn't it? And it all began at a horse show in County Meath. It did indeed, didn't it, Eimear McCann?
It did. Hi, Jerry. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Not at all. Tell us about that day when it all started. You were only a youngster at the time.
I was only young, yeah. I had face paint. I can't really recall why, but I was always a little bit arty, and I had so many younger cousins, and I used to practice on their faces, and it wasn't bad, I could do what I could do. So I made up this board with all my face paints on it and went to the Believer horse show. My mum was on the committee, and I had £1 of face, and I sat there face painting all day, and I left with about £50, and I thought, geez, this was all right, that was a lot of money. So I kept it up, needless to say, and did it as a sideline. And I used to always, do little jobs for different companies. And it just, here we are, 17 years later, still doing it. Actually, more than that. Oh gosh, I don't want to show my age now, but I'm doing it a long time.
Yeah, oh no, don't do that, because I was going to just put 1 and 2 together and make 30 or 40 or something. That way. But look, we're not going to do that today.
Don't tell anyone.
You're well experienced in the business. In fact, I take it that you have a team of people now work with you in the business.
Yeah, I have some wonderful entertainers, actually, mostly teachers. They're great. They're brilliant with kids. They can handle the parents. They know everything. So their teachers are great, actually. And so most of my entertainers would be teachers that do the private house parties for me. And then, of course, there's subcontractors that I would use all the time for face painting, balloon modelling, glitter tattoos. And that would be the corporate side of the business. And they would invoice me as a subcontractor, and I pay them directly. So, yeah, that's great. Now, corporate obviously has been gone for the past 18 months, but not forever, I hope.
It's on the way back, and please God, we will weather this storm that we're going through at the moment. I take it you lost most of the children's parties as well with lockdown. Sure, that wasn't a runner either, was it? No,
not at all. We lost everything, really. And sadly, I had actually just opened a venue in Santry, and I had put a lot of money into a unit there, and we were hosting the parties, and it was all wonderful for 6 months. And then, unfortunately, COVID hit, and it wiped the whole lot. Now, my landlord was amazing. Carlsberg landlord, he was fantastic. So he was brilliant. But then my lease was up in April 21. And at that point, everything was just so uncertain. I had to pull the plug on the lot. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, kids' parties, everything, christenings, everything. And it was funny because at the beginning of the pandemic, we were saying, look, we'll push it out 2 weeks. And we'll push it out 3 weeks. Yes. And then we quickly realised, actually, no, let's cancel everything. Yeah. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but I knew it wasn't going to be forever. And then we were able to do a small number of parties in September 21, and then quickly the numbers spiked back up again because schools were reopened, so everything was stopped again. So it was very stop and start, and it was unfortunate for kids as well because parents were booking, and I was actually saying to parents, my advice would be not to tell them because it's very likely that this might have to be cancelled. So a lot of them were doing that to avoid disappointment. But yeah, then of course after Christmas numbers were high again. But since June this year, we've been steadily going.
You're flying. You are flying since then. And
great, yeah.
It's great, and I hope it continues to as well. There's always rumours and mumblings in the background with case numbers, but look, I think it's becoming more apparent that this is something we will have to live with. Take as many safety precautions as we can with the vaccinations, this new antiviral drug that's on the way, and the hands and face and all that type of thing. So please God, we will be able to get through this without the severity of what we've experienced in the past. I'm laughing to myself. I couldn't agree with you more about that thing. We'll be all right in 6 weeks, 6 months, a year. Oh my God. And here we are nearly 2 years later, nearly in the same boat. But anyway, not quite. Anyway, one thing I was to say to you about, resuming and it getting going again for you from June of this year. Have parents gone buck mad maybe and, really splashed out if children missed a party, say, last year?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, not crazy, but there has been a lot of, I really want to make it extra special this year. And I get that. I have 2 kids myself, and my daughter's in April, and so she kind of missed 2 birthdays. And So you have got that where parents are not necessarily going really big, that they're having lots of kids. We've only had, I think, 2 over 15 parties, children attending.
Right.
But what they've been doing is, we do a lovely luxury picnic, so it's gorgeous, and the setup is beautiful. It's a lace tent and it's a table, it's gorgeous. But they want that plus the arts and crafts party or our tie-dye party. Or the other day I set up a teepee party for somebody, and then they got me back that evening to do slime with the kids, which has never happened before. So You're seeing that little trend where parents want to make it a bit extra special for them this year.
And you
it
know,
has been hard on kids. I get that, because
because it's been a tough time for them too, and I'm going to come on to that in a moment. But that's just to give a feel for it. Those you've mentioned there are but a sample of what you do: theme parties, different events, the colouring, the faces, you name it. It's the sky's the limit.
I'm always adding.
Yes.
The tie-dye party is a new one. We just added that this year. So that's really popular, where we would go and show the kids a variety of tie-dye T-shirts that we've made earlier, and the kids would pick what design they want, and we help them get their T-shirts ready. And then we do glitter tattoos on them, music, dancing, stuff like that. And then we do slime parties, arts and crafts, teepee slumber parties, very popular. We've been doing that about 4 years. We were the first person to do it actually in the south of Ireland, but that's hugely popular. And then, of course, we do puppets and magic, but not as much now.
Yeah.
We tend to like the slightly older girls there.
Yes. And tell me this, boys versus girls, is there a difference? Are the young fellas harder to handle?
Oh, they are. They're lovely, but they're just, I have one. I can't flag them too much, but boys can be just busy, and they're just a little bit busier. But with the 5-year-old parties, we do a puppet and magic party, and certainly the boys stand out a little bit, like a spade is spade. But look, they're only kids, they're only playing, and they just tend to be a little bit more boisterous, but there's no badness in them. Yes.
And do you see the personalities? Can you see the leaders? Can you see the ones who demur, who are quiet, and all else in between? Is that apparent in your work?
Yeah, it is, to be fair. Like the other day actually I did a party, and the birthday child was very reserved and she was very quiet, and a couple of her friends were full of beans and they were chat. So in that instance, you just have to make sure that you direct questions to the birthday girl or to another child that's a little bit more reserved, because certainly there's bigger personalities that would always stand out everywhere, and that doesn't change. Even in adulthood, there's bigger personalities. So you certainly see it with children, and some of them are just very confident. So you definitely do see the difference.
Do you feel in the time you're doing it, when you mentioned the number of years that you're at this, that you've seen a confidence build, a change in Irish children?
Slightly. Yeah, you would a little bit with what they want. Very specific. You could be doing a glitter tattoo on a child, and there are, I want gold there and that bit blue, and no, I don't want purple, I don't like purple, and I want that pink. And so they can be very specific with exactly what they want. And that's something that I think has developed over the past 5-7 years maybe. Whereas I think kids kids nowadays, they get so much, and a lot of these things are new, all these trends, and slime is new, and arts and crafts parties new, and there's lots of new activities that kids get. So the variety is out there, and the choices are out there.
Yes.
So I think kids just have they've very specific taste in what they want.
Yeah, they know more what they're about and what they want. What about technology? Is it a rule of your parties that they can't have their heads stuck in their phones, or is technology part of parties today? It has to be?
No, do you know what? It really isn't. Actually, there's very few parties that I see a phone. I could count on one hand how many times I've seen a child with a phone.
Yeah.
Now, our kind of cut-off point for entertainment-wise would be 10, 11, and that's kind of our tie-dye party. We can still catch them at that age. But no, actually, last week I think I looked at one of the kids and I said, "What are you doing?" And she had her phone, and I said, "What are you doing with your phone? Put that away." But it was only we laughed and it was gone and that was it. But I can't remember the last time I saw a child with a phone at a party.
I'm delighted to hear that. You've renewed my faith in humanity today, even by telling me that, because it just shows you children should be children, use their imaginations, enjoy and participate.
I'm always saying that to the kids, and I'm always saying that particularly to the older girls. I say, don't be in a hurry to grow up. You will be old like me too quickly, and
come on out of that, Eimear McCann. You're only a young one. Don't be playing the violin for me here today. Yes, I know what you're saying.
In such a hurry to pass their teens, and they want to be older. And I just remind them, don't be in a hurry. Enjoy being young, because you can't go back.
So true, and don't wish your life away. Live in the time you are and at the age you're at, and enjoy it. That applies right through life. The reason, we're talking today to you is this is an interesting thing, because you move a lot in the space with children, as you say, up to 10, 11 years of age or such. And you've been quoted as saying that you notice a difference, and you alluded to it a few moments ago there to say, the quietness of some children, etc. You see a difference post-pandemic. Can you put your finger on it? What is it?
It's just children suffer with anxiety, and a lot of children need that social interaction. They need routines, they need structure, and they need school, and they need their friends. And unfortunately, with the pandemic, it's just homeschooling, possibly an only child, or in people that are out of their environment. It's certainly made them regress. And a lot of parents have said that to me, that their children have been struggling socially and finding it hard to get back into the rhythm of school and friendships. And one party we did recently, I was so happy the girl did it, because the mum had said, she really doesn't want one. And she just said she just wants to forget her birthday. Anyway, she went and she did it. And she had an arts and crafts party, and she invited 7 or 8 of her friends from school, and she had the best time. And her mum was so relieved just to see her being a normal child, having her birthday party. But definitely the anxiety levels were there for her, which is very sad. And I'm hearing that a lot from parents.
Would I be overstepping the mark to say that the fussy parent could be the most difficult aspect of your job? Honestly, 95% of the parents we meet are fabulous, and I've created great friendships from them. Some parents, I think, have a different level of anxiety when they're planning parties. And to be honest, I don't exactly host them very well myself. And when I'm having people over, I'd be a bit flappy and, trying to get everything. And some parents just take it in their stride. They have, grand, everyone's here and there's no issues. And then other parents they want to know every minute of what we're doing. But to be honest, Jerry, that's what we do. I say to them, look, if you're doing a party from 2 to 5, we will arrive at, we'll kick off for 2:30, but we'll be there from 2 to set up. So I'll be there, the music will be there, I'll be chatting and meeting the kids as they're coming in. Then we'll do X, Y, Z. So I lay it all out. I say, you can feed the kids at this time. Don't forget this. I give them tips. And you can feel the sense of, okay, their shoulders are coming down, they're starting to relax, and they know that we know what we're doing, and there's a rhythm. There's going to be a bum, bum, bum agenda, and it's all set out for the 3 hours, and they're happy. You leave nothing to chance. I know this, and it's so reassuring to hear that. I'm just thinking, no pressure for your own too when the birthday parties are on. Has to be the best in the country, or else, mammy.
That's what everyone said, but that's like a mechanic. They always drive the worst cars, and honestly, my kids don't want me. I said to my daughter, what would we do for your birthday? And now it didn't happen because COVID hit, but I said, what would we do for your birthday, for your 4th birthday? And she said, oh, well, I'd like to go to Funky Monkeys. It's like a play centre. And Mammy's work, because at that point I had the venue in Santry. And I said, oh, you can only pick one. And she looked at me and she very sympathetically said, okay, well, I'll go to your work another time then, okay?
Very diplomatic.
So, now she might want me when she's older, because I think I might be a little bit cooler, but I'm probably just not cool enough for them yet.
Indeed you are. Anyway, look, you're doing great stuff, and I know people love you, and continued success to you, and I'm delighted to hear that the world is opening up. But a message to parents today, do take cognizance of the time we've been through and the effect it's had on your children. That's an important message today. Little laughs, littlelaughs.ie.
Creating, yes, littlelaughs.ie. All about creating memories, isn't it, Jerry?
It certainly is, and I've enjoyed, and I will have this in my memory for a while today, my conversation with you.
So.
Thank you for joining me, Eimear.
Thanks for having me.
Not at all. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. That's Eimear McCann there, children's party entertainer, and look, so much sense spoken by that wonderful lady there.